No, just be happy. Be happy, send your happiness to everybody, do your best. And the dark time is always there, and the light time is always there. But can you be just happy in it? Just surrounded and find magic in everything you do.
You are listening to the Say Something Serious podcast, a podcast about best friends and big topics. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back, everyone, to Say Something Serious. Today we had a special guest, Nena Deleplanque. She is a Reiki master, teacher, trainer, artist, and painter, an all-around amazing human being. We were so blessed to have her on our podcast. Unfortunately, today we missed some of the beginning of recording, but we have the second half to share with you. So hopefully it's something that is helpful for you or something you would love to hear about. She's just such a wonderful human. She is the woman who trained me and taught me everything I know about Reiki. Hope you guys enjoy.
Okay, so where are we? So in the old time, it was people like that, and it was record of people like that. Were they attuned to Reiki? I don't know, but they were passing that energy. Dr. Usui, Makao Usui, he was the one who found how to attune people, in fact. He searched for his life for a long time, and he found a way to do it. So all come from here. Our lineage come from here, And I think I'm completely linked with Dr. Usui's lineage, Makao Usui, and he was the one who helped us to find again this system. Does that give you some idea?
So he was the first person to sort of give a name to Reiki in the modern era?
Exactly. He was the first person to rediscover how to pass energy and how to help people to pass energy from above.
Okay.
So he found the formula. He was a Japanese man, so he was a martial artist. He traveled a lot. I mean, you can read the story in Google. But he passed the energy with Chuchiro Hayashi. And Chuchiro Hayashi starts really the business, the business type. He was more the discovering part, and Chuchiro Hayashi was most the business part. And there's been a lot of people in Japan. Most of them were men, because, in the old time, they didn't touch much women, and most of them were military or martial artists. But then it was the war, it was the war in Japan. Chuchiro Hayashi passed his lineage to Mrs. Takata, who was Japanese but living in Hawaii, just to make it short, guys. Mm-hmm. And from there, she dispatched Reiki to the state. She didn't want really to go to the state because she was Japanese, and at that time that was difficult. She teach my Reiki master, John Harvey Gray, in Los Angeles. And then John Harvey Gray moved from Los Angeles to Virginia, and then from Virginia to New Hampshire. So this is the idea. Now, if you're willing to sit 21 days on top of a mountain, you may find another idea.
And that's how Usui found it, right?
And that's how you found it. On a mountain top and just meditating. You can find a lot meditating, I was reading something on Einstein, and Einstein used to sleep a lot, 10 hours a day. And he used to drift, and boom. As now people think they have to do, and they don't take the time of space. So I think it's important. Even as an artist, people think artists are like, baby. No, sometimes I go sit and I come back. Oh, I can't see. I have to do that. So space is important, and I think you give that to your clients in Reiki because they finally let go, and just receive energy. And with that space, they may change stuff in their body or in their brain or whatever, and feel little by little better. I think, sorry, Mindy, but I think therapy doesn't give enough space to people because it's always about thinking.
It's funny. You're the second person to say that to me on the podcast.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I respect that. I respect that, but I think there are different ways to do it,
Yes, there is,
than just
and
the
you're
traditional
probably the
way.
best way to do it because you do Reiki, so you know how much space people need in between. Definitely.
I think there are actually like more and more therapists who are transitioning towards opening up like the energy work,
I
and
saw that, and I think you're the best on that.
you're so sweet. Thank
No,
you.
it's true. I saw your podcast, sorry.
Yeah. Well, there really is a movement now in saying like our view, what we were trained on, is really quite limited. Especially, it was like cognitive behavioral therapy when I was in college, which is very, very much 10 sessions or less, get rid of the symptoms rather than let's get to the root. Let's feel what's here in our bodies. Let's open up, like you said. But I think like psychotherapy in the practice comes in and out of phases, and you can go in so many directions with it.
Like everything, like
Yeah.
everything. Right now we have a lot. I was talking to somebody. We have a lot of ADHD children or whatever. How much of an evolution of the human race it is, I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, we have been overloaded, and those children are like, they're born and they're like, I don't speak about some cases who are really, they cannot eat anymore, they cannot process anymore, but some of them are like, maybe opening new door for us, and I don't know what. How come we here now? How come we are thinking like that? From the first guy who found how to do a fire, how did he do it? This guy, what happened to his brain? And so it's a lot of challenge. We need to open doors in our society.
Absolutely. I think the diagnosis world itself, I have a really big problem with because it's just a
Exactly.
label. It doesn't explain anything.
It's
It
just
just
a
puts someone
label.
in a box and gives you a set of tools, but it's not enough. And then people walk away feeling bad about themselves, like there's something wrong with
Yeah,
me.
you
I
never
feel
want to box somebody. Every client I had was completely unique,
yes.
completely unique. Um, and they teach me so much of this uniqueness. And I think by embracing uniqueness, we're going to help the world. As a lot of country and a lot of society wants people to follow order, and we don't accept the uniqueness of every soul, which is it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And they can teach us so much. Even if you talk to people who I had people who had PTSD, military people, they have been programmed and then they have been keeping on and now they have to reach who they really are.
Gently, gently, and
Yes,
simply, like
gently,
the way
and
you do.
yeah, gently, like Reiki or stuff like that, and that does open doors, and I think the society, I mean, not only in America, the whole society, the world society, I have to reach that, have to reach how unique everybody is. School did destroy a little bit of that, because school is programmed and they cannot, they need to adapt to the uniqueness of each child. We may find something in every of them who is like, ooh, opening door for the world. I think.
And I agree with you, and it's hard for teachers to access that because they're also overloaded, you know?
They overloaded. They don't have a good pay and they overloaded. I know that. So they try their best, you know. As an old French woman, I'm 70 years old. So in the 50s, you used to go to Catholic school. So they're like, you know, rule and regulations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I was listening. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. I was good enough to be able to block it. They probably they probably thought I was a stupid kid, but I was just you stay free there. So I was with my imaginary lion. I had a lion as a spirit animal, and he was there, and she was there. Woof, 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 and we were there. We're good, right? But nobody accepts that a kid does that.
Well, I think it's magical that you had that.
Yes,
right? To
I
keep
always
you
had it.
saying,
It's
like,
still there sometimes.
maybe this all isn't right for me, but I'm going to let it pass over. But not every kid has that, and it's not encouraged. Challenging systems is not encouraged in our society unless you're, you know, in a particular family where people are trying to have a growth mentality about humanity.
But
and
sometimes the family doesn't have time. They are not always guilty. I see parents are not always guilty. My parents were coming from World War II, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it was like, guys, we're gonna survive.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they were not guilty, and they make mistakes like every parent, but they come from, you know, a background was huge. And I did understand that right away as a kid. It's not their, I'm not their problem. It's not their problem. I'm going to do my life.
Ooh.
Irene, you had a question, or you wanted to share something with us.
So you have probably practiced on thousands of people since you began in 1989. Do you believe that when you said you do Reiki on people and it helps them bloom, or hopefully helps them bloom, do you believe that those missions are imprinted on their soul from birth, or it's something that they build in this world and in this life?
I don't know, because I do believe then when I touch somebody, there is not just this life. There is past life, and future life. So they are traveling. Are they traveling as best as they could or not? And maybe they need to learn something was difficult because they forgot to do it past life. How many times you meet somebody and you say, I know this person.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I know this person. And then you say, I should be a friend. I should do something. But no, it was an asshole who killed you last life. And so people get married with those people. They don't understand until, wow. So this is a big story. It's not one short time, but this soul who is inside, who is infinite, is definitely learning on earth, and it's beautiful. Whatever they have to learn. And we cannot judge what they have to learn because this story is too big for just me. Even for them, I mean, some of them need to space it out, you know.
Do you believe that encountering Reiki in the late 80s was a part of your, like, that you came to this planet in this lifetime to be on this mission?
I have no idea. To tell you, I have no idea. I was going for painting because I love to paint. And but I was learning a lot of stuff, you know. I learned Swedish massage in France. I learned back remedy in France. You know, I learned a lot of stuff because you like to look at stuff. You always love to look at stuff. Not too long ago, I learned animation. I'm not doing animation, but I say, can you do it? So I went to school and I learned animation and I did it. And the teacher said, you're too good, you know, you just hire those people, they will do it for you. but but I like to do it. And I don't know. I don't know. I think people put too much burden in themselves. Am I in the right way? Am I in the right road? And if you just drift a little bit or do like Einstein and sleep a little more or look at the star, the right way is coming to you. So no, I didn't want to do Reiki as a full-time job. It just happened. And then when it happened, I just embrace it.
I'm struck by the parallels of how we conceptualize Reiki and really what painting is, which is like channeling source energy through your hands, but in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Is that how you think of your art, as another channeling of spirit or a reflection of the self?
The problem with me is I never think.
I wouldn't call that a problem. I wouldn't call that a problem.
I just go and I do and you know, I mean, I was reading about Durkha. Durkha is from the Bhagavad Gita, is when your brain is always putting stuff, you know. And I think people put too much in their brain. Does that make sense? Of course, you have to do the stuff in life and all that. I have huge agenda. I have timing. I see it, but the rest is just like it's like swimming. It's like just breathing life. There's not much to think about. And when there is not much to think about, the stuff you need to do comes.
Yeah.
I think this is something that a lot of people are striving for and are
Yeah.
struggling, you know, myself being one of those people. I was very like structured, regimented. I found meditation and then that led me to Reiki. But I was thinking about it this morning before I started on this maybe like more open-minded journey of life, right? And experiencing it and feeling it, like what you're saying, and taking the time to go inward. I felt like I couldn't get any ideas. I couldn't get any access to creativity. I was on one side of my brain and I was stuck there.
Because you were looking for something.
Mm-hmm. And now, like, and I sit and I'm quiet and I'm still and I'm writing and the ideas are coming. But I just was laughing this morning because I thought, wow, like just a couple of years ago, I would have never thought that I would be able to do the things that I'm doing now. So like it's what you say, there's less thinking, more quieting, more just being gives you access to this different life, really.
Yeah, and more being open to what happened. And sometimes what happened is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible. And sometimes it's a lot of fun. But you just go with it. Okay, thanks. I mean, that's my idea, but you know, you don't have to think like me. You have to think like yourself. But that's more or less the ideas I
Yeah, it's
can
very like
share.
Buddhist, like a radical acceptance of what is.
It's not a radical acceptance. It's more like not holding on it.
Mm.
You know, because if a bird flies and he's holding on, oh my wing, and down, he's going to the gym and da da da. It's not gonna go far. As some birds go like
Soar.
soar. Yeah, that's a good word, soar. Soar. Definitely.
Yeah, I think we because of how intense the information overload is now, like this has been a problem for a really long time, but it's really gone over the edge
Yes.
recently. We're finally seeing sort of an intellectualized backlash to that. Like there's a lot of famous books right now, like How to Do Nothing, Slow Productivity. Like people are writing books about how like you can't create great things when you're inputting all the time. That like we have to get back to the art of like emptying the brain because that's where inspiration and great work comes from.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So, and I see it around, and I see it with the young people I have, the way they talk, and I'm like, and the selfie, this history to just keep image of yourself, and I'm like, I can remember myself at 3, 4 years old and 10, and I can remember all the travel I did with my husband, the good one, the bad one. I can remember all that. I can remember my dad dying because I was there for 2 days doing Reiki on him. I flew from here to France and I just did Reiki. and that was beautiful, I remember those moments, and I don't need any record for that.
Mm.
Beautiful.
I just need to be there when I'm there, and that's it.
There was something that you said earlier that we missed on recording, but about almost like it's Reiki is like watering a garden.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to say that again because I think it's so beautiful, and it kind of speaks to the innate intelligence of the energy, right? And this like being able to let go and just pass it and not think too much about it.
Yeah. It's hard to repeat yourself, but
I know.
Reiki is like gardening. Reiki is gardening. So after the 4 attunements you have on Reiki 1, you're able to pass energy from above, from the sun, the moon, and all that, through yourself to your hands. At that point, you become a plug or a gardener. So when people come, you just pour energy to them. The energy is way smarter than you. And the people are way smarter than you. You have nothing to do with it. You just pouring the stuff. The energy will say, oh, I need to clear a little bit the liver of this woman. Oh, okay. Oh, I need to do the ovary. Okay. Oh, she's cuckoo. Okay. But the energy knows. And the clients know much more than you do. At that time where you open those doors and they are completely relaxed, and most of my clients sleep deeply. I think everything, like you say, Erin, everything is relaxing as getting space to put everything in order. So this is what you want me to say?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
I would love to talk more because it is Pride Month, and I'm a gay person, and the AIDS epidemic was a really an event that really imprinted on our community and something we think about a lot now. And you were saying that in the artist community that you were in the late 80s and the early 90s, that you started practicing on people who had HIV or AIDS. Was that something that was happening when the hospitals were still not taking AIDS patients?
Yeah. The homosexuality phase always existed. I believe, I'm not really good at everything, but the 30 to the 50, everything went more like raw, bah, bah, that's what you have to do. In fact, a lot of people who were gay in the 70s in France, where it was really prohibited, came to America because it was more open. A lot of artists were in that group. A huge amount of beautiful artists were in that group. So when AIDS happened, like any epidemic, I do believe that the society tried to put everything on a group of people they didn't agree with, maybe. Does that make sense? And like everything, like everything. Like COVID and all that stuff, what they did with COVID was huge. They learned how to manipulate everybody in the world, right? And we were the lucky one in New York because we could go out. In France, they couldn't go out without a permit for half hour. So, yeah, guys, you don't know. In China, those people were jumping from their balcony, right? I've seen that in the news.
Yeah.
We were the lucky one here. But in every epidemic like that, I feel like some type of people try to control everything. I thought that after COVID, we will be like 68. Yeah, we did it. And then it was more and more and more greed and stuff like that. It's amazing. I couldn't believe how people listened to what they say during COVID. I mean, I moved in New York. I was taking the subway. I was doing everything. I was protecting myself, of course. I'm not stupid. But it was nobody. New York City during COVID was my planet. So speaking of Pride Month and all that and homosexuality, who has the right to banish that? Who has the right to say it's right or wrong? As far as you don't hurt anybody, as far as you give love to the people who are around you, nothing's wrong.
There were so many, back then, 1989 especially, there was so much fear around HIV and AIDS. Like,
Sure.
people still believed you could get it from like kissing.
Sure.
And like people were terrified to be around gay people and people who were HIV positive. And it just like really touches me that you were somebody that was there for
Yeah,
those
and
people at that time.
it's the same with COVID. They make us so scared of it. Of course, don't touch people who have COVID. I see them in hospital when they are in the glass, and most of them I did them distance. And we had the plague, and we had all those stuff where they put the blame on something, on somebody, and you cannot exclude anybody. If you can get it, be careful. Don't do Reiki on them in person. Send it distance. That's normal. But we could not get it, except if you touch the scars and sometimes that's blood stuff. Don't touch blood. Don't touch blood. That's for sure. For sure. And I'll come back to what we have to do with children. Accept they're unique. Somebody who's gay is unique. Unique. Somebody who's not gay is unique. What do they share in this planet? That's more important. If they share love and understanding of each other, understand me who's not gay, and love each other, that's much more important than those titles we give to people.
Yeah.
I think it's a title, and you have to go behind the title. You have to show that you're a loving person, and what you do is to bloom the planet. Bloom. It's like if we have a planet with only olive tree. I love olive tree. Okay. We have a planet with just olive tree. This is boring, man. Boring. Plus the olive tree won't be happy. Huh? Because they need another tree to bloom themselves, to give some test to their olive.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do a plan. Sorry.
So you talked about doing Reiki on people, but you also like people who are just like looking for clarity or just want to be attuned, right? But you also talked about using it sort of in a hospice like situation, like
Yeah,
as they pass.
yeah.
I'm wondering if, like, what is the intention when you're doing that kind of, is it just to keep them open and flowing with source as they cross over? Or, because at that point it's not healing, right? Like, someone is probably
Well,
going
I
to
don't know
go,
if I
but
should open that door with you, but I do also people after death. I can
oh,
reach
wow.
them. And I have a nurse in Sloan Kettering. Every time somebody dies, she says, "Could you do Reiki to this person?" What happened when you die? What happened is that everybody died. There is just one highway, guys. I'm sorry to tell you. uh,
There's no way
everybody
off.
died. Everybody died. But at the time of death, if you are panicking, if you're afraid, you carry that when you move, right? It may take a little bit of time to shatter. If you die and you're like, I feel good, then you move to something else, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that
Does that
energy
give
is
you
still
an?
flowing.
It's
Yeah.
still flowing, but instead to carry maybe your family were nasty with you or anything, the loss of your beloved or what, you just carry, I feel good. Then you're opening another door. Then in this I feel good doors, you can decide what you do. Maybe I was working on a woman, she died, and they usually throw them out. And I say, move to the light and all that, And she said, never, I'm staying for the kids. I didn't know the woman, somebody sent it to me. So I called, I say, does she have kids? She was an older woman. They say, no, we just have 2 grandsons. So she's probably say, I'm going to stay around, make sure they're okay. But if you leave this planet in panic, you won't have any power to, and I'm not sure, but to decide what you really want to do.
Just like on this plane.
Just this plan. Do I want to be gay? Do I want to be gay? Oh, that's what I am. Okay, I embrace it.
Yeah.
Sam.
So when after people pass and you do Reiki, it's like sort of going back and helping them like clear that energy so that they can make choices on the other side without
It's
panic.
just giving them light. And then they feel better, And if my landlord knew how many people there is here, he probably raised the rent of $1,000. They just pass, and this is not just our planet. There is a lot of other stuff, and we have to take care of it.
Yeah. I mean, something I learned from you is also giving Reiki to the earth, giving Reiki to the trees, giving Reiki to future events. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, and I really train people to give Reiki to the earth. That's really a big part of my teaching is that to the tree, a little garden that you love, send Reiki is all distance. You can give Reiki in person on a tree, but it's better to do distance. Distance is another level. But the planet needed so much. Look at what we did. We did it. It's not the planet who did it.
Right.
I want to see flowers every day. I want the planet to breathe. So it's very important. And I believe that there is some country and some place where people are thinking plant tree, plant flowers. And I do believe there is stuff we are changing in that regard, and that's important. That's important. Yeah. Because if we don't have bees, I work on bees too. There is a bunch of bees on the top of FIT. 20 streets, 20s. Well, if we don't have bee, we won't have food, guys. That's it. It's very simple.
I'm always inspired by how the bees made a comeback. Like there was a few years ago where they were like, we might have killed the bees, and the whole, not the whole planet, but a lot of people on this planet were like, not while I'm still breathing. And like now the bees have come back. Like people stopped mowing their lawns. Like where I'm from, they stopped mowing their lawns. They let like all these like bee friendly things and wildflowers grow all over their lawns. Like they brought the bees back. And it's like, that's how powerful we can be
It's
when we
beautiful.
decide that we want to save something.
So when people work on the bees, as a Reiki practitioner, they, of course, work distance. You don't take a bee. That's what we want. We want the bee to strive, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe the energy changed people. And like you say, they don't, they leave more flowers outside and all that.
Yeah. One thing that really makes me believe in jumping timelines is when they discover an animal that they had announced was extinct. Like 20 years ago, they'll tell you like, oh my God, we just found out that these whales that we thought no longer existed, like they're back. And you're just like, oh, like miracles. That's a miracle. That's a miracle.
That's a miracle. And who knows what's going to come back, you know? Who knows? But by working Reiki on the planet, you may hope that you give the energy to bring back the best to this planet to survive.
And giving Reiki does something to us too, right? Like you give Reiki, you benefit from that also. I mean, I feel
definitely.
so much more connected when I'm giving Reiki, when I'm sharing Reiki. It's one of my favorite things, really.
Definitely. And the more you give Reiki, the more you help the planet, you know. Now, the word Reiki have been washed out, you know, a lot of people use it without meaning, you know. But the Reiki I'm talking about is giving energy, you know. Because Reiki means universal energy. Never been protected. So people can use the word Reiki for anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a word who was brought, but you know, in the 70s, nobody was seeking like people do now. You know, they were thinking, you know, let's bloom, you know, and then you didn't think like people could take a word and use it differently than the way it is. But it's okay, you know, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I know we are very close to our time. Is there anything that you want to share that we didn't ask about? Any advice that you have, or just last thoughts?
No, just be happy. Be happy, send your happiness to everybody, do your best. And the dark time is always there, and the light time is always there. But can you be just happy in it? Just surrounded and find magic in everything you do.
If people are in New York City and they want to see your artwork, do you have a show coming up?
Yeah, I do have a show coming up at Pen and Brushes, which is 29 East 22. And it's starting June 26th, the opening.
Awesome.
I'll be there.
Thank you. Love you all.
Thank you so much, Nana.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
fun. Bye.
Thank you for coming. Bye.